West Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't understand why
agree with that.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Well, it's 9 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Now it's time for what you all been waiting for. We need like a little ding, 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 ding. The time for the main event. Bill is already 15 Tylenols into the day, just to spite Donald Trump.
Right, grape's the best flavor.
Trump's not going to tell him what to do with Tylenol. Bring on the autism, Bill, he says. Here's Trump yesterday. Dr. Trump in the House.
They pump so much stuff into those beautiful little babies. It's a disgrace. I don't see it. I think it's very bad. They're pumping, it looks like they're pumping into a horse. You have a little child, little fragile child, and you get a vat of 80 different vaccines, I guess, 80 different blends, and they pump it in. Don't let them pump your baby up with the largest pile of stuff you've ever seen in your life going into the delicate little body of a baby. Even if it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you just break it up into, I would say 5, but let's say 4 visits to the doctor instead of 1. Don't take Tylenol. There's no downside. Don't take it. You'll be uncomfortable. It won't be as easy, maybe, but don't take it. If you're pregnant, don't take Tylenol. And don't give it to the baby after the baby is born.
That was a press conference yesterday that featured folks like Robert F. Kennedy, Dr. Oz, Donald Trump. Here's the autism action plan coming from the White House. Number 1, informing doctors and families. The FDA will issue a physician notice and initiate a safety label change on acetaminophen. That's Tylenol. Research shows a potential association between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and adverse neurodevelopmental outcomes. Prudent use is needed during pregnancy and for infants and toddlers. HHS will launch a nationwide public service campaign to inform families and protect public health. Number 2, making a therapeutic available. The FDA will act to establish the first recognized therapeutic leucorvorin. It has to do with folic acid for children with cerebral folate deficiency and autistic symptoms. Following FDA's action, state Medicaid programs will be able to cover this drug for autism spectrum disorder. NIH will launch confirmatory trials and new research into the impact of this drug, and then they're going to increase research investment. Through the Autism Data Science Initiative, NIH will fund 13 projects totaling more than a $50 million investment to transform autism research. Want to hear from you. What did you think of the press conference? What do you think of Donald Trump's leadership on this? Give us a call, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law Text line, 720-819-5115. Now is time, though, for news and comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, good morning. Tuesday and 50 with rain in Denver, expecting a high of 56 today. This portion of the news sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story: about 30 minutes ago, DJT said the guns of war have shattered peace since he last addressed the United Nations.
6 years have passed since I last stood in this grand hall and addressed a world that was prosperous and at peace in my first term.
He touted successes from the first 8 months of his second term while speaking to the leaders and the dictators this morning, the UN, a big get-together in New York. He also pointed to deals to end 7 conflicts around the world he helped make since returning to office. The president said he didn't receive any help from the UN in making the deals.
America is blessed with the strongest economy, the strongest borders, the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation on the face of the earth.
And I was awaiting this one. I still haven't heard it. I'm just going to play it. Talking green to the UN. Let's see what happens.
If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. And I'm really good at predicting things, you know. They actually said during the campaign they had a hat, the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. And I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail. And if you don't stop people that you've never seen before, that you have nothing in common with, your country is going to fail. I'm the president of the United States, but I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe.
Oh, man, he never disappoints me.
Dude, the dude made a vaccine schedule press conference funny and interesting.
I know. You're right.
Pumping your babies
so right.
full of stuff. It's like the horse.
Oh, man, I love it.
100%. He is a gift to America. There's never going to be another one like him.
Oh, God. Never. No way. The CBI is searching for Juan Britado, who they say forced Jasmine Zapata into a truck at about 8 o'clock in Boulder last night. It's a two-door gray Chevy Silverado with Colorado license plates AXWL52. There was another unknown male who was with Britado. The vehicle was last seen near Thornton Parkway. She is 5'5", 105 pounds, black hair, brown eyes, wearing all black. Britado is 19 years old, 5'8", Hispanic, black hair, brown eyes. Call 911 if you have any information or call police. Jasmine Zapata is
This
who
is
they're
why
looking for.
we have Flock right here, the little license plate
right.
trackers, is to grab people like this quickly.
Exactly. I love it. Man, I hope they find him and her. Absolutely. You may remember the heartbreaking story 4 years ago when a 6-year-old girl fell to her death in the haunted mine drop. And if you just joined us, it happened in Glenwood Springs. And Jeff and Billy had Dan Kaplis on the show last hour. She wasn't strapped into the ride with the seatbelt, and Dan Kaplis and the family won the historic $205 million verdict. Dan, bottom line, he was looking out for the family.
Really was here the jury that delivered justice, right? Because as you guys know, as I stood in front of that jury doing closing argument, I was completely powerless, right? I mean, at the end of the day, only a jury can do justice. And I think the people of Garfield County should be enormously proud of this jury, and we're just grateful for it.
I agree with that. All right, let's go to Aurora and hear from City Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky.
It is clean. It is safe. The ICE facility employees, they do a phenomenal job.
Another great leader in our community. Support her up for re-election.
I like the way she says phenomenal. Phenomenal job.
Yes. And I agree with Billy. I mean, when Billy said that you're not listening to a politician, that is what is so beautiful. He is so correct there. I mean, she's your neighbor next door, man. That's who you want.
And you just want to let her go. Just like,
yes.
just go
For me,
fight
she's-
all the stupid special interests that ruin everything. And she just like takes them all on.
For me, she's the idea of
Exactly.
when we were talking about a member of your community. Again, like or dislike Danielle's politics, for me, she's the archetype when we were talking about a citizen that goes to serve in city council or legislature, whatever it is, and continues to be that citizen. That's what I find so remarkable and so special about who Danielle is. She is still Danielle Jurinsky from when she announced her candidacy to exactly who she is now. And I love it. I love it because of that. We need more like her, so many more like her.
We all grew up with at least one or two of those ladies, and whether it was our booster club or a student, or a teacher, a coach, whatever, a neighbor who just made all the cookies and cake for every, I mean, just a leader, man.
She's no nonsense, which is fun because my wife's very similar. And my wife always tells this story. She was like 9. And her 7-year-old brother was getting bullied, and she went right up to all the boys that were her age bullying her little brother. And you just imagine my wife with the pigtails and all that stuff standing outside the bus saying, "This doesn't happen anymore. You leave him alone." And you just love it. Like that
is
spirit,
precious.
that little fighting spirit.
Yeah,
it's so fun.
that's awesome. Oh, that's a great story. I can relate to that one, no doubt. All right, let's listen to the rest of Jurinsky because this is classic.
And yet you have these schmucks
Talking about Jason Crow, by the way.
showing up every 2 weeks and harassing them to the point that the ICE detention facility workers are having to change their clothes. They're trying to cover themselves up just to even leave work and go home to their family.
That's horrible.
Because of this nonsensical rhetoric that Jason Crow is putting out, that this is a horrible facility. Horrible. No, it is not. No, it is not, Jason Crow, and you know better.
That is awesome. She is awesome.
So we posted, if you go to my X account, you can watch this Jason Crow staffer walk into the unstoppable force that is Danielle Jurinsky.
Jeez.
And he just got a whole boatload of street education, man.
Like,
they don't teach that in your political science class.
That's right.
It's your Ivy League school.
Oh, so true. Oh, man, that is awesome. I got to go look at that. I haven't seen that. That is awesome. All right, quickly here, you're going to talk about Tylenol and DJT and RFK Jr. Turning Point USA held its first event since Kirk's assassination. They did it at the University of Minnesota last night. Author Michael Knowles was great. Jimmy Kimmel returns tonight. Will he have a huge audience or will it be nothing? We shall see. Does he apologize? Who knows? And here, guys, I have so many ridiculous sound bites. Let's play Pick That Ridiculous Sound Bite. I've got 10 of them. Jeff, pick a number between 1 and 10.
Let's go with lucky number 9 news. 9.
Okay, 9. Okay, Billy, how about you?
Number 7, please.
I went with 7. Jeff went with 9. I'm going to go with 7. Here's a ridiculous soundbite number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Okay, here's 7. I have no idea what it is. Let's just listen.
I'm excited.
And I say because faith is a private matter.
Faith is a private matter.
It convicts. It calls us to humility. But when faith fuses with power, it begins to ask for something else. It asks for obedience. It divides the country into the saved and the damned, the chosen and the condemned. It turns opponents into enemies of God. And when politicians wrap themselves in scripture, they are not calling us to virtue. They are demanding submission.
Oh, Don Lemon. He's worried about Christian nationalism.
Was Don making that speech at the UN against the 51 Muslim countries that exist in this world?
Exactly. He timed it perfectly for today.
It's just the Christians we don't like. But yeah, no, go to Afghanistan, Don.
Man,
make that speech.
Good poll, Billy. That was a good one.
Thank you.
All right, the Lions with a 38-30 victory. They sacked the Ravens last night. It's a big win for them. 50 in Centennial, 49 in Westminster, 51 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 710 5-day forecast, a cool trough is going to bring rain throughout the day and could be heavy through mid-afternoon across the Front Range. Temperatures going to be holding steady in the low 50s, then might actually fall through the 40s today, eventually staying steady in the mid-40s tonight. Showers this evening, winding down, sunshine upper 60s tomorrow. Drying out through midweek with lows low 50s, upper 70s Thursday. Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, dependable service, call 720-851-1691 or visit them online at besteverhvac.com. Meteorologist Don Watzel in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Bill, the autism rates in America are terrible. In the 1970s and 80s, it was like 1 in 5,000 children. We're now down to, according to the CDC, 1 in 36. 1 in 36. Donald Trump, RFK, Dr. Oz, trying to get a sense of what's happening here, making the argument that it's environmental. There is something in our environment that's changing this. Because to go from 1 in 5,000 to 1 in 36, clearly something is affecting that rate. Coming out yesterday, agreeing with Harvard that there may be a causal relationship with acetaminophen, which is Tylenol. Here's part of the press conference yesterday.
And the Nurses' Health Study with researchers from Yale, Columbia, and Harvard looking at 9,000 kids found that acetaminophen use in pregnancy was associated with neurodevelopmental disorders. And 4 weeks ago, a Mount Sinai Harvard study reviewed all the existing literature and found the overwhelming body of evidence points to an association. Sure, you'll be able to find a study to the contrary. That's how science works. But to quote the dean of the Harvard School of Public Health, there is a causal relationship between prenatal acetaminophen use and neurodevelopmental disorders of ADHD and autism spectrum disorder. We cannot wait any longer.
Bill, what's the problem with yesterday's press conference? They brought the receipts. They brought the studies. They're concerned about this causal relation. They're trying to get the warning out there. We got plenty of other warnings about what pregnant women can do with regards to alcohol, mercury in fish, undercooked or raw foods, deli meats, for instance, too much caffeine. What's wrong with getting out there and saying there may be a causal relationship between Tylenol and acetaminophen or acetaminophen and autism and providing that warning?
Here's the thing is, one, they didn't necessarily provide the receipts. They made a lot of allegations that were very, very embarrassing for science. It was a very embarrassing conversation. And they made a lot of assumptions. You can say with accuracy there may be an association between acetaminophen and autism. But Donald Trump's claims about don't take Tylenol, that's not true. His claims about the number of vaccines, and he just randomly says maybe we should spread them out based on nothing but his vibes. That's basically what this was. This was a vibes-oriented press conference about this is how we feel, and this is what we're going to do. The lead author of the study that was just cited in that soundbite has come out and said, yep, nope, that's not what the study says at all. They are totally mischaracterizing our study. The author of the study says they're wrong. Their conclusions are wrong. That's not what we said. Their studies, wrong. That's the problem. This just was a large scientific embarrassment yesterday because the conclusions they're drawing are not supported based on science. Could there be an association? Yes. It's not what they said yesterday. They were delivering causal relationships. That's different. And there's nothing in the scientific community that has established a causal relationship between acetaminophen and autism. Nothing. But yet, they delivered it as if they knew it. They touted this as a cause of autism type of a press conference. Yeah, there was a big banner that went across social media about it. Cause of autism. Yeah, that's incorrect. And that's where I push back. They didn't bring receipts. They brought vibes. And they said, because of our vibes, we feel this. Okay, fine. Now, again, you can choose to look at the information and their recommendations. You can also listen to your doctor.
But here's the Harvard School of Public Health article published August 20th of 2025. Using acetaminophen during pregnancy may increase children's autism and ADHD risk. So I don't, you said there's no research, there's no receipts. Here's a direct article from the Harvard School of Public Health.
University of Massachusetts epidemiologist Ann Bauer, who is one of the authors of the study that was cited in that text message, says, no, that's not. So there may be an association, but that's not it at all. In fact, they say we recommend judicious use, the lowest effective dose for the shortest duration of time under medical guidelines and supervision tailored to the individual. They say, I first off want to say that we acknowledge autism and ADHD are a result of complex mixture of genetics and environmental factors. Our review used a gold standard framework for environmental health data sciences to evaluate and give rank to studies that estimate studies for their quality. We found an association between prenatal acetaminophen use and offspring diagnosis of autism and ADHD, but it was not a causal relationship. That's it. They didn't see that it caused it. They found an association that maybe we need to look at other factors that could happen.
That's exactly what the White House said. Research shows a potential association between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and adverse neurodevelopment outcomes. Prudent use is needed. That sounds like everything that was just said by that lady.
No. That's not what Donald Trump said. It's not what RFK Jr. said.
What I'm seeing is this like anti-Trump knee-jerk reaction to what should be a measured analysis of the impact of acetaminophen and autism. And we do this with so many other things. For instance, cat litter is recommended not to be cleaned if you're pregnant. Deli meats are not to be used unless heated because of listeria risk. We do this with lots of things. Harvard and others saying, and I think the White House brought the receipts, that there is a potential association. So be careful with the use. They say specifically, prudent use is needed during pregnancy and for infants and toddlers.
Now, let's check that to the record and see if the audio that we have from Dr. Trump is a measured analysis issuing caution and examination.
They pump so much stuff into those beautiful little babies. It's a disgrace. I don't see it. I think it's very bad. They're pumping, it looks like they're pumping into a horse. You have a little child, little fragile child, and you get a vat of 80 different vaccines, I guess, 80 different blends, and they pump it in. Don't let them pump your baby up with the largest pile of stuff you've ever seen in your life going into the delicate little body of a baby. Even if it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you just break it up into, I would say 5, but let's say 4 visits to the doctor instead of 1. Don't take Tylenol. There's no downside. Don't take it. You'll be uncomfortable. It won't be as easy, maybe, but don't take it. If you're pregnant, don't take Tylenol. And don't give it to the baby after the baby is born.
Yeah, was that measured analysis that was issuing caution and understanding and examination? No.
Yes,
no,
the entire
no. He said
press conference was that way.
No. What was that audio right
you're
there?
You're saying because Donald Trump tends to be bold in his statements that he's wrong?
Yes. That is not a measured analysis. offering caution and concern and examination. That was a don't
When
take
has Donald
Tylenol.
Trump ever been that way?
But the issue is that was your premise.
I'm telling you what the White House put out.
No, hang on. That was your premise, that this press conference encouraged a measured analysis of the issues. No! And in the other clip that you played, there wasn't any measured analysis. They mischaracterized the statement and said we shouldn't be doing it. They are trying to draw a causal relationship that simply doesn't exist. This is an embarrassing day for science. But then again, when you get RFK Jr. in charge of HHS, what are you going to get? What do you think? Of course this is going to be a clown show. It's ridiculous. Bunch of vibes-based nonsense about what they feel.
Clown show?
Yes, clown
show.
Yes, clown show. Big shoes, red nose, honk, honk, and the rainbow wigs.
Why? Because they're not delicate enough in their communication?
Because
Where are they wrong? Where are they wrong with the analysis of acetaminophen and its potential connection to autism?
They're wrong in how they characterize it, with Donald Trump saying, whatever you do, don't take it. That is incorrect. And his statement about nothing bad will happen, excuse me, that is not backed up by any sort of medical science. The idea that a fever in the first 2 trimesters doesn't harm the mother or the baby. That's not even close. Try to find me any doctor that's going to tell you that a fever over 100 degrees is not going to harm the baby during the first trimester. Find that anywhere. But Donald Trump, Dr. Trump a minute ago said, don't do it. You shouldn't worry about it. It might be a little uncomfortable for you.
Yesterday, during that press conference, that said that the natural healing process of a body going through a fever may not be as bad as taking acetaminophen to address the fever itself.
Okay, and there's science behind it is what?
There were doctors yesterday at the event.
I understand.
So, I mean, you pointed out saying Donald Trump. I'm telling you that doctors yesterday said that.
Yeah, and it said, hang on a sec. Said doctors yesterday said may not be as bad.
Right.
They didn't enforce what they didn't back up what Donald Trump said about don't take it because nothing bad will happen to you. That was my thing.
You're parsing at this point.
No,
Bill,
Jeff.
We're dealing with a national crisis here.
Jeff, I'm not parsing anything here. I'm not parsing. I'm being accurate. And when Donald Trump comes out and says don't take it because nothing bad will happen to you, and even the doctors that are in on this scam stand next to him and say, well, it might not be as bad. That's not nothing bad will happen to you. That's totally different than nothing bad will happen when they say, well, might not be as bad. That's bad. That it's not nothing bad will happen. That's the issue. That Donald Trump, the president, stands there and spouts off a whole bunch of crap that's not true, and that now we're supposed to believe him. No, this is silly. This was an embarrassment. This has set medical science and other things back in America.
Bill,
this is crazy.
What's causing autism?
I don't know. Nor have I claimed to. And I'm not a doctor, but nor do I have to. So why?
What are we going to do about this crisis? We're down from, 1 in 5,000 to 1 in 36. What do you do about the crisis, Bill?
Here's the thing. You're looking for a causation, and I don't see anything that is a single causation. From what I've read, it seems to be a variety of different inputs, of which we don't know. There could be a various number of things that can happen. It is not directly caused from everything that we've seen through acetaminophen. There have been numerous studies showing that there is no causal relationship, that there may be an association, meaning that at a particular point in gestation, with a particular set of genetics, in a particular environmental situation, it may lead to that happening. Might happen, but that would be a variety of different inputs. And just restricting the use of acetaminophen doesn't prevent autism. And the other part that worries me is it seems during that thing they're looking for some sort of a cure. And that's silly. That's just silly in as far as the nature of it. The other part is we talk about the numbers, all of a sudden we find more. We've got a lot more. That entire argument, in my opinion, is a mischaracterization of how statistics are used. And the idea being that if we start studying something, we'll probably find more of it. If we start testing for something, probably going to find more of it. And how we test and what we define as autism has expanded over the previous decades. So how we test, how we define it, and how we measure it all have changed. So we would probably see a change in the numbers. It would be silly to see
Robert
it static.
F. Kennedy
it would be silly.
Jr. addressed that perfectly yesterday
Yep. And he said
on
what?
this issue.
Yep,
when he said
what?
that people from the 70s are dead, they're walking around. If you want to measure them and indicate that autism has always been here, well, then you can just go down the street and we can measure that. The idea that just because now the indicators are better, so we can only this generation is getting measured, is just wrong. All of this criticism reeks of anti-Trumpism and is not rooted in what we should be doing. We are facing a national crisis. It's clearly environmental. We've gone from 1 in 5,000 to 1 in 36, and in some cases, as they pointed out yesterday during the press conferences, some states 1 in 12. This is a very serious issue, and just because it doesn't explain every possible reason for autism doesn't mean there isn't a causal relationship to it. It's like saying, well, just because lung cancer isn't always the result of smoking, we shouldn't go out there and warn people that smoking could cause this. This has been shown to have a causal relationship.
No, it hasn't.
I'm looking at a Harvard headline right now. Using acetaminophen during pregnancy may increase children's autism and ADHD risk. It's not saying it always does. It's not saying all examples of autism, but it may.
What's the last word in that sentence? What is the last word in that sentence?
Risk.
Yes. Is that risk or is it development?
So why not go out there and just tell people this is a risk? What's so wrong with that?
Hold on. Risk is not development. You just mischaracterized that statement saying that it showed a causal relationship. Causal means if A, then B. That statement does not say if A, then B. It doesn't even say possibly if A, then B. It says there may be an association that if A, B might develop in some situation.
What's so wrong, Bill, with saying that out there?
Because that's not what Trump or the rest of the clowns up there said. We can play the audio again with Donald Trump saying, don't take it. That's not what he said.
So, Bill,
that's
you
my
would
issue.
be fine. You would be fine if all of this was laid out in a very exact language press conference. You wouldn't have any problem with Trump warning pregnant mothers not to take acetaminophen.
Here's what it would be. I wouldn't have any problem if Donald Trump came out and says we are vastly concerned about the association between acetaminophen and resulting autism. We need to start a large-scale test and all these other things in order to find out where the relationship exists and how we can best mitigate it. We need to find out X, Y, and Z, and that's why we're going to be doing this. And even putting the labels on the Tylenol, I'm fine with that. That's fine, again, because the label itself says association, not causation. That I'm okay with. That is accurate and fair inside of science. And if the science comes up and says, hey, acetaminophen is the causal link between this and autism, great. I will be happy to say here on the air or wherever I am at the time that it is the causal link. But I'm not going to make the leap of faith like Dr. Trump and RFK Jr. did up there, mischaracterizing what these studies say. When the soundbite that we had from Trump, barely anything that comes out of his pie hole at that time is true.
Bill,
it's not
it
80
cuts
vaccines.
Through.
It's not. No,
it's the way Donald Trump talks. It cuts through, and it's going to get to people, and that's what matters.
That
Just
is what matters because he's wrong.
Technically, exactly
he's
right.
Wrong.
You're
what matters?
parsing.
No, I'm not. He's wrong, and exactly what you're saying there. It'll cut through everything, and it'll focus on people, and it'll cut through all the mess, and that's what they'll remember. And they'll remember a bunch of stuff that's wrong. He's telling them incorrect
it's not
information.
Wrong. All right.
Yes, he's wrong.
We've got to
all
get
that
to the phone
soundbite,
lines.
everything was wrong. Everything.
While Bill and I disagree on this, we do agree Advanced Hair Restoration is the best hair restoration company for you. For many of us, it might be happening. Your hair's thinning, your crown's disappearing. Maybe hair loss has you feeling your identity's lost altogether. Well, I got good news for you. It's an incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts growing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's the Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. Look, we've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but what if what you want is your own natural hair permanently in specific areas? From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to world-class Dr. Tanya Pauls, it's not maybe your hair will regrow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's why Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR or advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com. Marty, you're going to be up next. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Dr. Trump's in the house. What did you think of yesterday's press conference? The White House saying that we got to be careful with acetaminophen. Research shows a potential association between acetaminophen, which is Tylenol, used during pregnancy, and adverse neurodevelopment outcomes. And then Trump just going, don't take Tylenol.
And nothing bad will happen. That's important,
Let's go to Marty in Denver. Good morning, Marty. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Morning, gentlemen. All right, Billy, how much is Tylenol paying you? That was a powerful defense of the big pharma monster.
No, just powerful defense of science, Marty. It's powerful defense of science.
You.
But that's okay. Continue.
I get you. But let's continue. Couple things. Autism has always been around, just like the LGBTQs have always been around. We're just now coming to the enlightenment to be able to diagnose us. That's a lie. 1980s, it was 1 in 10,000. You know about the 1986 vaccine immunity law. It is 1 in 36. In California, boys, it's 1 in 17. That's a breathtaking number. Billy, you don't have a right to – and this is where let me set the backdrop, guys. The Tylenol is not the cause of this massive jump in autism. I mean, it's in there. It's not. But you know this is a buildup because what comes next, the next shoe to fall, is that these 72 vaccines that they make you give in like the first hour of life, a sexually transmitted or bullcrap, Billy. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I do. How many vaccines?
Billy,
okay, wait. No, Marty. How many vaccines, according to you, how many vaccines do they give in the first hour of life? You said 72.
Well,
is that accurate? Or are you just playing around?
It's Hep B. It's Hep B given in the first. And since you just put that out there, let's educate your listeners.
Yeah, no, but that's already Marty, no, stop. Let's count them. You said 72 first hour. That's one. Continue. What's the next one?
Well, then there's
the next one
2
is
weeks, 2 months.
No, you said first 24 hours. Stop it. You know
I said there's 72 vaccines on the schedule.
You said
Billy.
it. No, you didn't. You said in the first hour. You did not. Be accurate.
Oh,
you know they give 2. You know they give 2 to newborns. Come on, stop it. You're smarter than that.
That's ridiculous. In the first hour of life, it begins, and that's what I was trying to communicate. Sorry, it wasn't perfectly said, just like Trump, Billy. But in the first
accuracy
hour
seems to
of life,
matter
Billy,
in science. Accuracy matters in science. I'm sorry to hold you to that. I'm sorry to hold Trump to that.
Well,
Accuracy matters.
What's the science behind a 1-day-old getting a sexually transmitted disease? Hepatitis B is from drug injection and sex. How many 1-day-olds do you know that are out having random sex, Billy?
How is hepatitis? Marty, how's hepatitis B transferred? How is it transferred?
From the mother, but if the mother doesn't have it, the mother isn't given it.
No, there also can be some other natural exposures, and some of the viruses can hang around for a while. Same thing with RSV.
Okay.
No, that's the science. I'm sorry, but keep going, Marty.
Really?
Keep going. Yes.
That's the science. Okay. So I guess we have a lot of 1-day-year-olds there being exposed to that stuff. Okay. Next one on the list,
Marty,
Billy.
it's a possibility based on where they are, the fact they're in a freaking hospital.
Everything is. I could hang up this phone and run a red light, Billy. I'm T-boned. Everything is on the table.
Yeah, but guess what?
You're right.
You probably are in a car that has EBS, airbags, and a seatbelt. Vaccines.
Yeah, but at
Thanks,
the end
Marty.
of the day,
Continue.
I got to push the brake.
Thanks, Marty.
Okay,
Vaccines.
Next
Continue.
Next
this is
correction.
Fun.
You wanted to talk. I think you called them clowns and called it an embarrassing day for science.
Yep, 100%.
What they did yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
When your heroes like Dr. Fauci got up there and told us that your vaccine for COVID was safe and effective.
That's Trump's vaccine.
Was that not an embarrassing day
Marty,
for science
Marty,
when Rochelle Walensky and CNN told us that?
Marty, I can't take credit for that. That is on Trump. That's warp speed, and that's a fantastic thing
You're
that he did.
You're a vaccine fan, though.
Yes, absolutely,
You're a
man.
vaccine
yes,
fan.
It saves lives. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you would subscribe that COVID shot that nobody's taking anymore, less than 6% uptake, you believe that saved lives and that people who have become completely different people.
It was proven to save lives, Marty. I mean, the math can be hard for you, and I understand because I struggle with math myself, man. But math is not. It's difficult. It's hard for me. But you look at the math. Yes, it saved lives. And all you have to do is look at the percentage of people that were in the hospital ICUs during the COVID outbreak, and look at that breakdown based on vaccination and non-vaccination rates.
But I
it's
do.
shocking.
I do
That's
have a
it,
question.
Man. It works.
Hold on, guys. Real quick question for you, Bill. Any concerns about any of the vaccines on the schedule, or are you just kind of, they're all good?
I'd have to look at them. There are some I used to have somewhat of a concern based on the total load, but after doing some research, no, I am good with them. And the reason is, and again, before everybody here on the show, on the Jeff and Bill show, thinks that I'm talking out of another orifice rather than my mouth, I want to outline very clearly for people. My oldest son went through a tragic birth, was in the ICU for over 6 weeks. He had a stroke, we were looking at surgeries. He had broken bones. He's in the ICU, and we were concerned based on the tremendous amount of drugs that were pumped into his system there, what was going to happen when he got out and they started doing the vaccines. Yeah. So I went and I looked, because right about this time is when the whole autism thing is starting to gain traction. I went and looked, and I did the research, and I am fine with it. Okay? And I'm looking for the point where when my son came home, he went through withdrawals. I watched my son get the shakes and the shivers from withdrawal from serious drugs at the age of 6 weeks. And I went and looked about what these vaccines do. I did the research. I'm not just talking out of my rear end.
And I don't think nobody's saying that, but
no. But the impression is that I don't know what I'm doing, and I didn't do any research. Damn it, I did more research than most parents do.
I'll give you the final word, Marty. We gotta get to a break. Go ahead.
Bill, real quick, though, we do own a medical practice, my wife and I can tell you firsthand of parents that have brought their children in after a wellness visit in which they took their scheduled vaccines. That child was never the same. If you're going to deny the fact that there's a contributing factor to mercury and poison and carcinogen and
mercury isn't in the vaccines anymore, but thanks anyway, Marty.
Oh, but they have been forever.
Marty, they wouldn't be in anything you would see contemporaneously, Marty. Thanks for the phone call. There would be you would have nobody coming into your clinic that would contemporaneously have mercury in their vaccines. You know that. Stop it.
Let's get to a break. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Let's get to the phone lines. Aaron, Aurora. Good morning, Aaron. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
That's some That's Denver, Colorado, guys. But the thing is, though, Bill is right. It's, RK Jr. coming out there and spewing more conspiracies. Got conspiracies about vaccines. Now we got conspiracies about Tylenol. That just doesn't cut it. Bill is right. The science.
What's the conspiracy?
The conspiracy is that the science, the hardcore, there's the hardcore evidence proving that Tylenol causes autism. Autism has many triggers. It's a very complex disorder. Maybe 100 years from now, maybe they'll get a clue, and that's science and research. But 2025, when it comes to autism, it's a big question mark. That's it. So Bill is right. Sorry,
Aaron. They put $50 million in investment to research. What's wrong with that? That was part of the announcement yesterday.
It's never. Look, Jeff. When it comes to research in anything, you tell any researcher out there to research in any disease on planet. That's not enough money. I mean, there's so many diseases out there. It could be $1 billion. It's not enough money.
You're angry that they're not putting enough money towards it?
There you go. They need more money. That's right.
Okay.
More money. More money toward their research.
Aaron, how much did Biden put towards this research?
Nothing, because he was an idiot. He's an idiot. Nothing. He didn't even know. Joe Biden wasn't even clue. Joe Biden had no clue what the hell was going on when he was in there 4 years.
I agree with that.
Nothing.
But what you saw yesterday, Aaron, I appreciate the call. We're at bump out here, but what you saw yesterday was exactly what Donald Trump is delivering for the American people. Statement. A potential association between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and adverse neurodevelopment outcomes needs to be told to pregnant women. That's all they're doing. They're not banning this. They're not going to imprison you. They're notifying you that this may be an association, and Harvard backs it up. They're trying to do something about it. All right, we're up against the break. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
710 KNUS.